Welcome, everybody, to Uncle, the first podcast to take place live from a king-size bed in beautiful hedonism 2. I'm your main host, Franklin, and as always, I'm joined by the coolest uncle of my whole world, Uncle Howard.
Oh, Franklin, we've had a good time here in hedonism, and I know I've talked about how we need to maybe find new grounds sooner or later, and I think sooner's probably order of the day. Turns out theft is just as illegal in Jamaica as it is in the United States.
No.
Yeah, so it's pretty unfair, but I'm in a little bit of trouble. But I hired a lawyer, as a matter of fact. He's here in the bed with us underneath the covers. I'm going to pull down the covers and reveal him. Here he is. Here's our lawyer. His name's Van.
Wow, what a get for lawyerings and what have you. Van, welcome to Uncle
I just want to clarify, I do law is a hobby. I'm not certified by any bar or association in any state or country. Mm-hmm. But I am happy to give you non-official, non-binding advice on any legal or podcasting issues. But I just have to preface that with
yeah. Well, if you can represent yourself in a court of law, shouldn't you be able to represent anybody else?
No, in fact, that is not the case. That is very much not the case. That's this comes up actually. If say you're incorporated as an LLC, you can't represent your LLC in court as yourself because you are not your LLC. You see, that's a separate legal person. You have to hire a lawyer.
I don't know about that.
For a sole proprietor, you can represent yourself, but as an LLC, you cannot. So you got to be careful with that. You're gonna rack up legal fees over there at the Two Unks Limited.
It's very limited, unfortunately. That's kind of why we brought you here, big man, because we want to expand.
Yeah. Look, I can get you guys from the low 3 figures up to the low 4 figures. That's what my goal is. By in the next, I think in 3 months I can do that.
Okay.
Low 4 figures is pretty
I'm going to 10x this podcast.
So low 4 figures. Okay.
Yeah. That's just I don't have any official rating information. This was just a guess as to where you guys were starting.
No. Yeah, I keep that pretty under wraps here. Nobody.
But whatever the listenership is, be it the low 3 figures, be it the low 6 figures, we're 10xing. That's right. The bottom line.
Ooh. All right. So if we were low 3 figures, 10x it would put us at a low 30 figures, right?
I think that you're using the wrong mathematical base. I think you're trying to do this.
Base 10. I multiplied it by 10.
Multiplying by 10, man.
Yeah, no, you've got that a little bit off, but yeah, we're getting you up there. Don't you worry. You can count on me.
We do appreciate it. And tell us, what have you been up to post BugCon now that, kind of...
I got to tell you, it took me weeks to get my life back in order post BugCon. My office is still kind of a wreck with just little pieces of BugCon here and there. I did inherit the giant monitor from BugCon, the 40-inch gaming monitor that now is on my desk. But otherwise, it's only been trouble. But I started a new full-time gig working for the Minions.
Shit.
Those little yellow fellows. Yeah.
I'm familiar.
I write for them. I bring them their snacks, keep them stocked with bananas.
Man.
But I've been working with them. I was down Florida way the other day over at Universal Studios.
Not bad. You went to some real parks because I think. Did you go to Disney at all?
No, just it was a work trip, so I was at Universal.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was good to be back there. I got a nice look at the shell that used to be the Blue Man Group, and prior to that was Nickelodeon Studios, and now it's just an empty blue building.
Oh, it looks like a school now. Yes. God, it's so depressing. It's so depressing. Yeah, I normally don't respond to those kind of like Facebook memes. Like, this is what they did to the Nickelodeon Studios. I'm like, yeah, it was.
It does
fucked up.
it does look bad.
Yeah, it's not great.
And it's just there's a fence around it. It really
So don't go
really
over.
sign of the times.
There's no nostalgic value attached to this. Please don't hop over the fence. Please do not take any photos with it. It's kind of
it was nice.
Yeah,
nice to be down there. I was
Nice.
there, before the hurricane destroyed half the state.
Yeah.
I imagine you're doing all right though. We're down where you were, Franklin.
Not my half. So
Yep.
I got I mean, look, I did send out a heartfelt message to any Buglings and Slurpee fan members in the west coast of Florida that there's plenty of available hotels in the Ritz-Carlton in Miami Beach, and then they should just get a room there instead of trying to survive a horrible storm that, devastating.
I think that's smart. That's smart thinking.
Smart thinking, good living, better living.
I've been to that Sanibel Island that got wrecked. I dated a girl in college whose family had a house there, and I went and visited her there, and it went so badly that at the airport on the way leaving, we broke up.
Oh.
In the connecting airport at that, like we had a layover. So between the first and second flight, we broke up. Now, luckily, we were taking different second flights, or that would have been a rough flight.
Oh my! It doesn't sound like a rough flight in general.
But yeah, it did not go well. That was not a good trip.
If you had to break up with somebody on a vacation, that's the best time to do it, though.
It is a good spot, right? You're like you're
paradise.
You're right at the airport.
You're in the airport. You're in the kind of a no man's land. Anything goes.
This person's bothering me. Tell them to leave me alone. That's essentially what you have to do.
It's like a demilitarized zone.
But anyway, that's so I pleasant memories of Sanibel Island.
Yeah. Was it kind of middle of nowhere-ish? I don't know that area. I don't.
It's like there's it's the middle of nowhere, and then there's like a crazy like Key West style bridge, but just along the coast to like a tiny beach island. At the time I had been, I don't remember what hurricane it was, but some storm had just destroyed it before. It's one of those places that just gets destroyed and rebuilt all the time.
Yeah. They just have
because it's very low lying. And
have you seen those houses in Key West that are just like we just build them higher? Like they have these pillars, and there's this empty space, and they're just like just build them higher.
Yeah. Just keep them going up. Keep going up. Yeah.
Keep going up.
Hey, as the sea level rises, you just keep on building higher. That's the way to do it.
Underneath, but it's like fixing a crooked table in a restaurant.
Now, Van, when you were at Sanibel Island, did you get to go to the Ding Darling?
I did not refuge? Did not go to the Ding Darling Wildlife Refuge. I did go to a hamburger restaurant called Cheeseburger.
I'm familiar.
I didn't have a cheeseburger there, but
I would have loved.
I rode a moped as well. Wiped out on that bad boy too. Scraped my hands up.
Is that when you knew you had to break up, or is it before?
That was involved.
It was not a reason.
That was involved.
Well, I think that's pretty good because I think better to break up with somebody then and there, I suppose. Than
at the end of the vacation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like, Oh, isn't there some movie where they break up right at the beginning of the vacation and they have to get back together? Isn't that
sounds like a movie?
That sounds like 80% of the movies. Yeah,
I believe Kumail is in this movie. Yeah,
yeah. Kumail did it.
This is like just before he was a superhero Kumail movie. Sounds true.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was him and Issa Rae. I might have completely made that movie. Remember that one?
The plot of that movie?
Yeah, they break up.
I don't know what happens, and then they get kidnapped.
They get kidnapped, but maybe they don't go on vacation. Maybe they just get kidnapped. But a kidnapping's kind of like a vacation in a lot of ways.
It's a sort of a vacation from your life.
Yeah, that was a movie that got eaten right up by the pandemic. Came out in May of 2020.
Was that one of
that line?
Yeah, was that maybe one of those? There were a couple of movies that like right at the start of the pandemic went to Netflix or to streaming, and everybody and like the people who made the movies were like, too bad about that pandemic. You know, this would have, of course, been number one, broken the records. See you later, Avatar. But
I think Like a Boss was like right before
that's just too bad.
Oh, it's like a Boss came out in January. Like, that pandemic, they got us.
Deadshot or
Bloodshot or
Bloodshot.
I never saw that. I did see. I forget. There's a Ben Affleck movie where he plays like an alcoholic basketball coach.
Yes.
And that was gonna go in theaters and went to streaming or to direct to on demand or whatever. And I did see an interview with him where he was like, "Look, I got to be honest. I'm not happy about the pandemic, but I am so glad this happened to this movie." I like the movie. I love the movie, but like I could feel it as it was coming up. Like people are not going to go and see this movie. They're not going to go and see this movie. And I was freaking out. And then it was like, it's just going to video. And I was like, oh my God, this is the biggest relief in the world. It was such an honest interview with him.
Oh my God. That's
I don't know. Ed Harris was in it, and audiences flocked to Ed Harris.
Hey, Top Gun Maverick. Why do you think that did so much business? Ed Harris. That plane flies right over him. That's one of the best shots.
I would make a movie where Ed Harris is wearing a big toupee and an airplane flies over him and his toupee flies off and you see he's bald.
That's basically what happens in that shot. There is no toupee, but you can imagine one as it happens. The flap is somehow still there.
How does young Ed Harris look like? That seems like a forever old.
He seems like I feel like he was like one of those guys who like went bald at 17.
Mm-hmm. Now, Ed Harris is also in the optional. So you know how Netflix changes the covers to movies, which I don't think should be legal. But there's 2 DVDs of Cuba Gooding Jr.'s Radio, and one has the titular radio, and the other has Ed Harris, who I guess is the coach of the football team. But anyways, he's on the cover of Radio, and it's just him, even though he is not Radio, which I find to be
something I noticed. Yes, I agree. It's confusing when it's a titular title. Something I noticed, and I don't know when this happened, but Kevin Spacey is back as the House of Cards thumbnail. For a while, he went away, and it was that Doug character or the wife, and it was never him. And lately, I'm getting him as the thumbnail again. So, as far as I know, he's only gotten more guilty since disappearing.
Those Christmas videos.
Yeah, but it's they've decided to slowly and quietly lift his thumbnail ban.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Horrible Bosses. They're just like, which has like 50 people in the cast. You could find a good reason.
They're putting him on more things. 7, it's just him. It's only him. It's ruining the twist, first of all.
Yeah. He's in Horrible Bosses too for like only a few minutes, and it's still put him back in the DVD cover.
They should do a cut of what was the movie where they took him out and put Christopher Plummer in? All the money.
They've got him as the thumb for that too. Yeah.
The Spacey cut where it's just they took out Christopher Plummer and put him back in.
Oh well.
They've got him for The Sound of Music instead of Christopher Plummer. They took him out and they put Spacey on there.
You gotta get. I don't agree with what he's done, but you can't just take him out. So I feel like it's kind of reparations for all the times they've taken him out of DVDs now. So put him back in. Put him back in a couple here.
I couldn't get into K-Pax without him in it, so I'm glad he's back.
Pretty contingent on him.
Shampoo got mad at me once actually when I posted the K-Pax for premiere.
Yeah,
I posted something in that like as night openings that I refused to include Kevin Spacey despite the request by Shampoodler.
Now, was that not a real request from him?
Well, he requested the movie, and I took the bold stance of saying,
"Wow."
Despite
I think it's implied with the request. Yes, I agree.
Well, I don't know. I wanted to make sure that I had nothing to do with that.
Why would he request K-Pax with the understanding that you would have left the lead out of it? Oh, I just want to see Jeff Bridges.
I think it's totally fair.
Yeah. I'm just saying I didn't want to include him, and I didn't include him despite Shampoodler possibly requesting him in it.
Well, let me ask you, how did he look at the premiere?
He's pretty generic. There's a few times where he
wasn't
looks
like
good,
dripped out. No.
There's been a few times where like he is like all corduroyed out, and I'm just like, oh, that could be. Oh yeah, I can't. Like people get mad if I've posted like Donald Trump, and like. Somebody once responded because I think it was like Johnny Depp was in like one of these, and they're like, "Read The Room, man. Haven't you read the news?" And it was like some trial.
Well, first of all, Johnny Depp's back. Also, I'm seeing those Sauvage commercials everywhere.
Yes, he plays the guitar.
Yes, that's right. Also, just to comment on the Trump thing, just to bring this podcast to a full halt and talk about Donald Trump. I think that's unfair with somebody who always looks so ridiculous in every picture to say it's a problem to post pictures of them.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a single picture of him ever taken where he doesn't look like complete buffoon. A still picture, especially a like outdated premiere picture. I'm sure he's in the worst suit possible. He's making a hilariously bad expression.
You're glamorizing
City 1 and 2.
Yeah,
you have to see what happens with Mr. Big.
Wholly inappropriate premiere for him to be at and everything. Yes, sure.
You're glamorizing this man in a 4 times too large suit whose arms hang out his side like he's got above the waist paralysis.
Yeah.
He's part of the reason that I posted the Phantom Menace premiere and did so, He's not all bad, He's part of the reason.
Now look, mid-trial Johnny Depp, sure, maybe is that iffy? Sure. Post-trial, fully redeemed Johnny Depp. We even think his bad movies are good now. Yeah, sure, post away. He was. The judge said that Rum Punch is good too. That was in there in the ruling.
Redemption for Mordecai and Transcendence.
Johnny Depp has got to be one of the luckiest guys ever because people still think he's as much of a hunk as he was in the 80s, even though it's 40 years later and they're like, he's the hottest guy ever.
Larry, I'm sorry. Is the area that Jackie Brown is based on? I apologize. Sorry, I talked over you explaining my error correction.
Oh, well, no, Rum Punch was... wasn't that the one that was the Hunter S. Thompson novel?
Rum Punch is that's the Elmore Leonard. No, Rum Punch is an Elmore Leonard novel that Jackie Brown is based on. The Rum Diaries.
Rum Diaries.
Hunter S. Thompson number. That's the Johnny Depp bomb. Well, that is him and Amber Heard.
On Uncle to Uncle, close enough is better than the truth. So you were good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So how that struggle session rules. I love those guys. I do. It is like I've only been on one time, and actually neither of the two hosts were the host at the time. It was He Who Shall Not Be Named was hosting.
I don't know about that. I don't know enough.
I know they used to have a third host, and they don't anymore.
That.
And But anyway, I was guesting on that show. Please don't look it up. But it was just like just things were just being said that were completely inaccurate, and I couldn't keep up with them. And they weren't things that were like offensive to me that were inaccurate, but it was just like the level of inaccuracy was very high, and it was.
Well, they just say stuff like, it was just like, scientifically, dogs can't be trained. Stuff like that.
I mean, not that, but there's a little bit more of a focus on politics. But it was great. My episode was about Sonic the Hedgehog, but even still, they were getting the politics all wrong.
He was like, Dr. Robotnik's always been kind of a Green Party guy.
Yeah, that's not at all. Yes, exactly.
A Green Party guy wouldn't turn animals into robots.
Clearly a compassionate conservative, George W. Bush, Republican.
Yeah, Bush era.
Yes. Classic 2000s era neoconservative. We all know this about Dr. Robotnik.
That's why he's bald.
That's right. Not very workers' rights, to put it lightly here.
No. Well, Dr. Robotnik didn't use any workers, though, really, did he? He was kind of a
unless you
man.
Consider the enslaved animals inside of his machinations.
But he built the machinations himself, right?
Yes, but they're powered by enslaved animals.
Bootstraps.
Podcasting.
Bootstraps, self-made success story.
Yeah.
They always want to take down anybody who succeeds. It's disheartening.
Speaking of success stories, let's get into Uncle to Uncle and how we are going to bring this podcast to the top of the charts. I have some questions for you guys. Now, I know you have a presentation that you want to show me. Would you like me to save my questions till the end? Would you like to do the presentation first? How do you want to do this?
I feel the presentation will answer all of your questions.
Look at that. Way to save time. Look at that. Time is money.
Okay.
Uncle Howard just put money in your pocket. How about that, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So
you're free to throw that money on the garbage. You're free to jump off a bridge, but you'd be a fool to do either one.
All right. So I hope you guys can see.
Hold on. Let me get this up on the.
All right, so got an expansion report here. We got the Trade Federation and Newt Gunray for this will be available for everybody to watch. So, by the way, this is an audio format, but nonetheless, here.
Oh, there goes my first note. But go ahead.
So we want to increase followers and listeners. We had a podcast birthday. We had a lot of downloads, and we've got global listeners out there. It's not too bad.
Now, hold on. If you could just hold on that slide for a second.
Yeah.
I'm seeing, is that an all-time downloads achievement?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Okay. I'm just curious because I was thinking about doing the math of 4 years. And how many days is 4 years? What is that? 365 times 4.
About 17.
And anyway, go ahead. We can move on to the next one. Now, 50 countries. That I like.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's and we got our personal objective. You know what we want here. Now it's about the market, and that is something we definitely understand, right, Uncle Howard?
Absolutely. Bear, bull, all the rest.
We're watching Mad Money lately, so we have some big money ideas here, as you can see. We have babies drinking margaritas. It's kind of a work in progress that we have. Slater to Slater, where we're both Christian Slater doing a whole episode as we both do excellent Christian Slater impersonations, and I think we could do a good 55 minutes on that alone.
Do you mind if I jump in for a second?
Go ahead.
Please.
If I could just pitch one Christian Slater and one Mario Lopez for Slater to Slater.
Slater. It will still qualify as a Slater. You are right. Yeah.
Okay.
What's up, Fam Bam?
Got it.
All right.
Go on.
All right. So our highest rated episode that gets the most engagement was the Search for Joe Torres, where we looked for a cast member from Hey Dude. This was about 4 years ago, but we still get responses occasionally from rando Nickelodeon Twitter people that are just like, "Hey, no, this guy solved the case. He goes to play pool at a bar in Arizona," and they play a clip of us making a phone call to this. What was it, the Golden Nugget?
The world famous Golden Nugget in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Mm-hmm. So figure we could go look for Joe Torres again and just kind of, find him this time.
Maybe play him in pool. See how good he is.
See how good he is. Yeah. He played Danny on Hey Dude.
Yeah, he was the native man.
And he dealt with a lot of
racism. If you're trying to explain that to me, I'm on board. If you're trying to explain it to the audience, that's a different story.
Well, Mr. Ernst ran the Barn on Ranch. He had a son, Buddy. He had this guy Ted who didn't graduate high school. Ben Stiller's wife was in the show.
Yeah,
but not then. They weren't married.
No, not yet.
Not yet. But she knew.
She might have married Joe Torres if he didn't quit the acting career to go play pool all day.
I know. Well, that's what we got to find him to see if there's any sparks that we could reignite here. I have here MTV Spring Break Beach House. I'm not quite sure why that's, but I mean, it'd be nice to record from there, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of bikinis there.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Well, where does Matt Pinfield live, man? You tell me that.
Yeah.
Do they? Because they just show Rob and Big reruns on MTV, right?
They show Ridiculousness.
Factory. Oh, Ridiculousness. One of those shows.
One of those shows.
A bad early 2000s.
No.
Next.
I think I wanted to stop for a second.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think I'm looking at these two things on the same slide here, and I'm thinking MTV Spring Break, some sort of MTV Spring Break retrospective, or an MTV Spring Break. Where are they now?
Okay.
See, I think that has legs.
Oh yeah, hey, yeah, it's got Johnny legs. You'd probably spend some time there too.
I
have a friend.
Violent Night.
My friend Damien, who is he's a Family Guy writer now, but he hosted a few MTV Spring Breaks. He was the host of TRL after Carson Daly.
Really?
Damien Fahey.
I remember Damien.
Yeah, so I got some Spring Break connects.
Nice.
I could get you guys hunting down some leads.
Now, I would like Carson Daly to apologize to Smash Mouth because during the live performance of All Star, during the line of "Hey, now you're a rock star, get the show on and get paid," Carson got the mic and yelled "Get laid"
disrespectful
over Steve Harwell. So there's apologies in order. But
who's still relevant in 2022, Carson Daly or the Smash Mouth song All Star?
Fucking All Star by far.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
clearly
we gotta get into our audience now, and this is where it gets a little muddy here. Our audience is
going to be one of my questions.
They are in probably the lamest age group to be in, the 30s, which
largely.
Yeah, they're wrestling fan or wrestling fan adjacent, meaning they either are wrestling fans or they know or their dorky friends watch wrestling. And this is probably the worst circle, the absurdist comedy Twitter people who learn about the show and expects us to know what socialism and things we don't understand are.
Yeah, the guys who are talking about Bolivia.
Yeah.
I would almost argue these last three categories are the same, aren't they? That was kind of a redundancy there.
Yeah, well, in case you needed us to paint a picture, the last three categories are absurdist comedy Twitter, bird brains, and cucks. So that's Spot on.
I would like to get in a little deeper with actual cucks because I feel like those guys have a lot of money to spend, not on their wife. So maybe more on us.
That's true. Yeah. So we want to target we want to corner the cuck market. You know, they need something to listen to on that hotel
Lonely.
chair by themselves.
Yeah, when they're out for a drive at night by themselves.
Just killing time. We do have expansion strategies, and that's kind of your basic clickbait type trailers. I took notes.
Can you go back to that previous slide? Could you read these out loud for me for the people at home?
Okay, so expansion strategies. We agree we'll be on more shows as a duo. We'll feature more guests, even though I'm typically more anti-guest than Howard is. Video trailers that include funny moments. Again, those are very tough to find because our comedy stems from more nuance. It's more Matthew Perry than laugh out like a Brad Garrett laugh out loud kind of comedy.
Yeah, we're more like that. What was that show with that fella that Bugman did the impersonations of, where he lives in an attic or something? You got to watch like 20 of those episodes.
Arrested Development.
There it is. Yeah. You got to watch a bunch of those before you know what's going on. That's kind of like us.
That's what we are. That's what we are.
We're the attic man.
We are definitely the Jeffrey Tambor of podcasts, is what Uncle Howard's saying.
Yeah.
Except we have our hair. And that's the only thing we don't have in common. Okay. So live streams on Twitch. I learned Twitch recently. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Okay.
That's really good.
Yeah. We have some Dar Man type trailer examples. I saw you told that to Jack once in a meeting. I'm like, oh, let's do that. So, I got some, clickbait things. I have one of if Daredevil can find the G spot because he's visually impaired and
he's got radar.
He's got radar, but I don't think he's
going like bing, 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 bing.
Yeah.
Like,
so
boom, 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 boom. Like,
we're thinking of some clickbait stuff, Yeah.
What happens
to
the
great,
era of
sexy rope? Thank you. We have one of Undertaker, kind of like hinting if he soils himself or not, and Deep Roy.
Yeah. Van, have you ever worked with Deep Roy? This is off topic.
I don't believe I have. No.
Oh, you'd remember.
I would imagine.
Well, sometimes I work on things that have voiceover stuff, and so I bet he's done a voiceover before.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I can't be sure, but I don't believe I've worked with the man himself. Yeah. Uncle Howard. Now I'm starting to like what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
Now you're getting into it here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're seeing here Uncle Howard's plan for business. Now, Howard, you can kind of take over this here.
Yeah. So this is kind of this is the Uncle to Uncle brand is an ethos that drives energy and vibes. It's a vibrant ecosystem that's granular and yet cohesive.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. So let me try to get this going here because
there's an audio visual component to this.
There's an audio visual in it, and I think I would hope it plays here, but I think you're gonna like what you hear once we get it. This
is the thing where we're trying to say we want authenticity, but we also want to drive into new markets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope you can hear that. Yeah, you hear that? No?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I hear it.
You must like the sound of that, though, right?
All right, so...
Oh, that's the prettiest song I've ever heard, brother.
Mm-hmm. Woo. So, Howard, you want to continue here on some of the...
Yeah, so every great pyramid was built on a foundation. And some of the best foundations are the 4 Millionaires account on Instagram, who he looks to inspiration from Cillian Murphy, the Peaky Blinder himself. So we've got some advice from here. These are things that we've taken, we've internalized them, and in turn, we internalize to in turn realize profits. So we've got the first one here. Now, this is from that movie where they say the curse words all the time. It says, sit with winners. The conversation is different. So we've been doing
I want to just jump in. I do like this. I like this Four Millionaires interpretation of that film, that you're supposed to think the Matthew McConaughey character, who I believe right after this scene is a unemployed, coke-addicted Wall Street former trader, is a winner.
He was drinking all those martinis, brother. That's a winner where I come from. Yeah. He also taught Leo to do the thing where he goes, yeah. That's creepy, man.
Shockingly, that was a improvisation from McConaughey. Shockingly, that was something
this is what he does to warm
role.
up for scenes. It's how he warms up for scenes. What I wouldn't give to be on that movie where McConaughey's in the virtual reality and he's warming up doing that. Then we got this fella here. I think this is maybe it's
like a
Voldemort.
Columbo type.
Yeah, it's Columbo or Voldemort. And he says, smart people know when to play stupid. Now, see, that's smart.
I think you'll see that. That's us, basically.
Yeah, that's, you just give them enough to reel themselves in. And then finally we got this little creep here, the Scarecrow, and he's saying, I love listening to lies when I know the truth. So see, what we're saying here is we're shrewd. We're not going to let anybody trick us. And we got these millionaire success habits as well.
Yeah.
So
we don't
every
have to
day,
read all these here, but yeah.
No, but we've been doing this every day. We've all been drinking 4 L's of water.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah, we've been visualizing for 10 minutes, and the others, are on the table.
Yeah.
And then also we've definitely been sacrificing a few years of partying. We did that for the 2020, 2021. We sacrificed years of partying. Yeah.
Now, we haven't read it for 30 minutes. We haven't read for 30 minutes. That one.
No, nor have we invested 10% of our
total.
Yeah, we've read for 30 minutes total. I was
again. Let's not say anything we get into legal trouble for. But yeah.
I read something really good the other day. It said Breyer's ice cream, buy one get one free. Oh,
that's good. Took you close to 30 minutes to read that, sure.
Yeah.
And we could tag party freaks on that advice of sacrificing.
Yeah.
They recommend it.
Yeah, we've been working with party freaks pretty closely.
Yeah. So here you got the Oppenheim group, the Oppenheim brothers. Maybe I don't know if you're familiar with them, Van, but these guys, they do real estate in Selling Sunset, and they're just the coolest guys.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're. I mean, there's what we patter. Again, this is Uncle Howard stuff, so I guess you could,
luxury vehicles, beautiful vehicles, like the Dan Bilzerian, a Lamborghini, a watch.
Marcel from Friends is on top of Dan Bilzerian in that photo.
Yeah, that's right. Dan Bilzerian has Marcel.
He knows all the ladies.
And when you think about Friends, that's a show that made a lot of money, and it had a lot of fans. That had probably 4 figures of fans a week.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And here you got the team. This is the team that gets it done here. So myself, you have, he's not on the team. It's a fictional character, but it'd be sick to have him on the team, right? Like Howard Hamlin, that's a great lawyer. We have Uncle Howard, distinguished, and then, again, Newt Gunray. Again, not a real thing, but would be cool to have that kind of money and just that kind of class. Is this kind of what we're putting out?
Now, would he bring those other 2 guys in the picture?
He doesn't really
with those guys, those attendants?
Yeah. Lot Dodd and company, Yeah. It's more of a vibe thing. And now potential investors, could it be you?
Yeah.
How about, would it be for have your name on there, Van,
Did I just find myself in a timeshare presentation by accident?
Well, I'm just saying.
Classic Florida timeshare presentation?
I'm just saying, imagine making the investment of a lifetime and you get your name up there with the Howard Hamlins. Again, I know these aren't real people necessarily, but they're real winners, if that makes sense.
Harry Hamlin.
Money. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Look at that money must smell awfully good, Van. Look at Vince.
Yeah, he's taking a good sniff. We all want a whiff of that.
Yeah. Look, and we're a big magnet that's sucking up cash from investors. from angel investors, from venture capitalists, adventure capitalists, advertising capitalists. So what do you think?
I mean, I think you kind of got all your questions answered, basically.
Well, I will say, Harry Hammond and I use the same car wash on Ventura. So I've seen him there more than once. So that did sell me on it.
Nice.
So I have one thing that stood out to me the most from that presentation.
Oh boy.
Well, two things. One, the injustice of misidentifying that whoever was in that middle photograph is Columbo. That was not Columbo. Far from Columbo.
Columbo
years
type
off.
Figure. Columbo type.
I'm not a Columbo type figure at all. Not at all.
Smoking?
Columbo is Columbo is a sort of a man of the people, rumpled, raincoat wearing, cigar smoking. He's not a fancy hat wearing, pipe smoking Robert Mitchum type like that you were showing there.
He's nothing but a cop where I come from.
I just want to.
I'm sorry, ACAB. Did you learn that from Struggle Session? Because that's what we stand by.
I have, there's required by California law. I have to post here in my office because I have an employee. I have to post all the emergency services numbers.
Yeah.
And on there, under the police, it just says ACAB, call the fire department. That's what's on my poster.
I don't know if they're going to solve the crimes, but yeah.
Hey, I found a dead body. I better call the fire department.
Yeah, you're
Sorry, I hear you, fellas.
No, I don't like him either.
Who does the drops? The entire hour? They really killing it.
Okay. Well, hold on a second here. We're typically drop crazy, but we were in business mode here because we are
the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
Not bad.
All right. I like
All
that
right.
one.
Yeah. Okay.
So the thing that I kind of, we're all about expansion here, but I felt like you guys were a little negative in the audience portion. Because here's the thing. If you're looking for a cool audience, get out of podcasting.
What? Why?
There is no cool audiences in podcasting.
Oh yeah, tell that to Paul and Young Ron on Big 105. You think their fans are a bunch of nerds?
That's terrestrial radio, my friends. That's as cool as it gets.
Okay.
We're talking day laborers, construction guys. We're talking truck drivers.
Okay.
That's where it's at. You're getting dishwashing millennials is who you're getting listening to podcasts.
Ouch.
But I think you got to lean into accepting who your audience is.
I'm getting sick. Okay.
Now, look, you can expand out from there, okay? But that's your base is your base. Now, look, I got to tell you, look, these fans of absurdist comedy, I deal with these people all the time. That's not where you want to expand.
No, we don't know shit about politics.
They're as persnickety as they are broke, and so that's not a helpful demo.
You know what I say when I see
cool
one of those
guys in their mid-30s, however, these not cool guys in their mid-30s. This is the demographic with the highest disposable income. They don't have kids.
No.
They can't get a girlfriend. Do you realize the cost savings of that every week? That is money to spend on uncle-to-uncle T-shirts, coasters, mugs, keychains, fuzzy dice. That's money, baby.
All right.
So I would say, like, that's a place to lean in, and then wrestling adjacent is true about your show and your content, in I think a very good way. First of all, I think that's an underappreciated audience, the wrestling audience. I think that is, you know, at the most basic level, I would say, you know, people will decry the wrestling audience as unsophisticated. On this notion that don't these fools realize that wrestling isn't real?
Okay.
And
Okay.
what I would say is, unlike the fool making that critical statement, your average wrestling fan is simply able to hold multiple ideas in their head at one time. It is actually a very astute and attuned audience who's able to appreciate the complex layering of fiction and reality, physical prowess and exaggeration that is wrestling. So I actually think it's a very intelligent audience. I also think wrestling is very funny, and I think that it's a good comedy audience. Wrestling people tend to have a sense of humor. Some of the wrestlers, not so much. But the audience, as opposed to these absurdist comedy Twitter people who I don't know when they found anything funny.
They scare me. They scare me. They sound like
you've been drinking this early in the morning, bro.
When I go on Twitter and I see somebody just sounding off here, I get scared.
Yeah, when I see them, you know what I say? I say,
What?
That's typically what I say as well.
Now, I don't use Reddit because I have some run-ins there with the Doughboys' toxic fan base. But someone showed me a Reddit post from this week that was a question of, have the Doughboys had any diabetic guests on?
Oh.
And so I texted that to the boys themselves, and I said, if pre-diabetic counts, you guys have 2 on the show every week. But then I also said that this will be their excuse for not having me on for another 5 years. They have to mix up the insulin levels a little more.
What fan base was this?
This is the Doughboys. You may be familiar with it. It's Mike
Their
Mitchell and Nick
on
Weiger.
No, I know.
They have a toxic fan base, but that's why I'm not on Reddit because they ran me off. But there was some concern that there was not enough medical diversity in their podcast guests.
So you're saying we should get some more diabetics on our show?
That's what my pitch is. No, but I would just say I think you're smart to not try to attract more of that audience. The next thing you know, you're gonna run up a $10,000 bill for having Emilio Estevez on.
They're all rapists.
Not Emilio.
No.
Well, this would be a new reason. You know, this is it. But to your listeners who don't know, Rob Lowe, a man who is on a new nationally televised TV show every year, has his own 2 weekly podcasts that have no trouble whatsoever. Guested on the Doughboys, and their fans threw such a fit that they had to apologize and donate $10,000 to charity.
I remember,
which is
I was
one of the most insane things I've ever seen happen of a fan base attempting to hold hostage their listeners.
Conan got no grief, and they got so much shit for that. And it's even like mutuals of ours that like we're doing this. Like,
yep, it was really something. Now look, it was during the pandemic. I'll cut some people some slack.
Yes, absolutely.
A little bit of the Corona kookiness going on, the COVID kookies. We've all been there.
I mean, it happens. Absolutely.
But what stood out to me in the in this the best was the video thumbnails. Those were very funny, and they were close enough to being about what you seemed like you're actually talking about in that clip. That was there. They weren't the I've seen more. Excuse me. I've seen more deceptive thumbnails on real YouTube videos. I'll put it that way. A quick question. So, do you guys? Does this Riverside FM software? I see you've moved on. You were using this gentleman named Craig on Discord was recording all of your podcasts. I see you've moved on. Now, this doesn't capture the video, does it?
It does capture the video, though. It does. It's not. It's typically a little better than. Well, you see the previews. Typically, it's better than what it previews. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Because I do think that like the big thing in podcasts these days is video first podcasting, getting that video on the YouTube, video of the whole thing,
we can
long form, and then video in a separate clips channel. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Mr. Joe Rogan. He pioneered three things in podcasting that I believe led to all of his success. One, having a separate channel for full episodes, and then a second channel for clips. That's number one. Two, pretending through silence that those are not run by him. Those were like fake fan channels, but he owns them. He definitely owns them. They completely changed what they post when he went to Spotify, and they're able to release the Spotify clips before the episodes come out on Spotify. They're his channels, but they aren't like, they don't have check marks. They don't have like official stuff. They post as though it's just up on YouTube. But there's two separate channels for a very smart reason, which is YouTube sends your recommendations to people based on when you upload and how much you upload. They send a maximum number of 3 push notifications per day to anyone. And they send those push notifications based on how much and how you engage with the content on the channel. And different types of viewers watch a full podcast versus watch the clips. And so if you put them both on one channel, what happens is YouTube's algorithm says no one really likes this channel a lot, because every 4 let's say you post 3 clips for every video, that's a full thing. The dumb computer says people don't watch all these videos. Every 4 videos they're skipping, or every 3 videos they're skipping, because it can't understand that that's 2 different sets of people. It's too stupid. The clip watchers and the full episode watchers, 2 different segments. You want to segregate those on separate
So we got to
channels.
make a separate channel for our clips. Okay.
You got to have Uncle to Uncle clips, and you got Uncle to Uncle the full episodes. Those are separate channels, and that will better prime the algorithm to those. And because what you want the clips to do is to get pushed by the algorithm into people's feed, people who have not watched your show. To get the clips, see the clips, discover the show through the clips. No one discovers a show through a full 2-hour video. The people watching your 2-hour videos are the people who already know about your show and want to watch the video. So that's why you separate those. That's why you segregate that. So you're going to have 2 YouTube channels. So that's his first podcasting innovation that you'll see some other people do. And sometimes it's people who are Rogan adjacent. And I wonder if him or is that guy Jamie? Is that his guy who he should pay more money, who really is the brains behind it? I wonder if he pulls these guys aside and is like, here's the secret, 2 channels. I've never seen anybody talk about this, by the way. This is my own personal analysis of this situation.
This is legitimate big money here. I mean, this is millionaire mindset. I feel like that could fit all on one one text. Can we get all that text and put it on Cillian Murphy and that Van
Number
just read
2.
out there? Okay.
Have guests on your show who have their own following that does not overlap with yours at all.
Okay. Okay. We know a few,
People-
unfortunately.
People think, oh, so I'm trying to grow my podcast. What I should do is I should have on guests that are adjacent to the things I like and the things I talk about and the things my fans already enjoy. So, for example, in the mind of someone thinking about this, maybe Franklin, maybe Howard, I'm not going to put this on one of you. You might say, let's have a wrestler on. That would be a great guest.
Mm-hmm.
That's not as good of a guest as someone who has nothing to do with wrestling, who's completely outside of the world of wrestling, who has nothing to do with your show at all, because what you can attract with that person is someone who would have never listened to you, never found you otherwise, except for that guest. And so that's a free listener. That's a new listener you wouldn't have found through your other efforts. And so this is why Joe Rogan started having on like scientists and fucking
And that bald guy, Bernie. Oh,
Yeah.
and like Atlantis conspiracy theorists and all of these crazy people who have these like 50,000 followers on YouTube, 100,000 followers on YouTube, and you say, well, why? What? They don't even have that many followers. What's the deal?
yeah.
Why all these random things? It's because if you can grab 1,000 people here, 1,000 people there, 1,000 people there, then that's 10,000 people that were not into UFC. They were not into stand-up comedy. They were not going to listen to the Joe Rogan podcast. But now they liked it so much, they're hooked on it because they got in through an unexpected route. So when you're thinking about booking guests, think about, and this is the other thing, those people aren't asking them to do things. So literally just go on YouTube, start finding like random YouTube channels and just start booking people from them. Like YouTube channels with like between 50,000 and 500,000 viewers, like subscribers.
Mike Zero.
Mike
Welcome.
Zero, get him. You think I'm joking? Get him on there.
I think we can get Mike. I mean,
I would love to get Mike Zero.
I think and be straight with these people. Let them have a good interview. It's not a joke. You're not making fun of them. You're bringing them on. You're talking wars with Mike Zero.
I love Star Wars, and I love everything he posts about Brie Larson every 8 hours.
But like seriously, all of your favorite random weird YouTube channels. We all watch a bunch of random weird YouTube channels.
Oh yeah.
Start reaching out to these people.
Man, this is.
I can help
sense.
you with outreach, but that's the kind of guests you want to book. Is people who like aren't obviously guests for you, are like, without sounding insulting, low profile enough that they're gettable, but are going to bring in a handful of people when they listen. So you have Mike Zero on, you're going to get easily
Patriots
10 new listeners to Uncle that will be lifetime listeners.
Yeah.
That will have never, ever listened if it weren't for this. They're going to sign up for the Patreon. They're going to buy a T-shirt. They're going to tell their friends. They're going to start posting. And these are people who they've never heard of Paul F. Tompkins. They're not going to be mad at you about socialism.
Yeah.
They're Mike Zero heads. Okay.
Yeah. Oh man.
So
I'm feeling this.
Yeah.
So
that's
all
what
right.
I was going to say.
Well, man, we're approaching
ahead.
the 1 hour mark, Van here. What's the key advice?
What do you guys usually do? Like an hour long? Is that how long you guys do?
We go an hour, but sometimes we go TV time remaining. We go a little over. We're not afraid to flip the script here.
I think that's good. There's nothing worse than too long podcasts. You get no bonus points for a long podcast. It doesn't help you at all.
Unless it's really long, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
Once you hit about 2, that's a lot of content.
Cream of the
No. So, quick questions. What category are you guys in? What podcast category?
Audio.
Audio, yeah, audio and comedy. Unfortunately, here.
So
maybe like arts.
I think you guys need to pick a better category. Comedy is
no
saturated.
Comedy is simultaneously vague and competitive.
How about agriculture?
Maybe. It's all about the charts, baby. You got to find a low-hanging category. Like this is what Lil Nas X did. This is why he became the huge star that he is he put out that country song, right?
Yeah. First guy to ever do country.
But country, I don't know if you guys realize this, it has not been doing well. Sales have been down on country, okay? So to chart with a country song wasn't that hard. Hip hop, the number one genre, to chart with that, you have to do way better numbers, way more consistently. And so he was able to put out a country song, and we're putting aside the controversy later that people tried to claim that wasn't a country song, which it straight up was a country song. But putting that aside, he was able to game the system by charting in a less competitive category, but that is treated as a category. And so
agriculture.
You guys got to find a less competitive podcast category to list yourselves in, so that you can start charting and getting recommended to people.
Okay.
And now it needs to make some sense.
I think what Van's trying to say is we need to become patriots.
Yeah. Well, no, because there's a lot of patriot podcasts out there.
There's right-wing stuff, too.
Now, you guys do broadcast from hedonism. Travel could be an area.
Travel? Ooh, we actually follow Topless Travel on Instagram.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
We could get that guy on.
You guys have a lot of uncle-ness. So there's like probably some sort of like... I don't know where like family or mommy bloggers podcast, wherever that is. You guys are uncle bloggers, uncle potters.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider is find a new category. And you can pick comedy as your second category and it'll show up on there, but it won't be what you get listed under.
Yeah.
Okay. But being listed under comedy is doing you no favors because you guys have never cracked the top 200. So it does not matter that is what you have picked.
What about the top 300?
I am relatively certain you haven't cracked the top.
But the 300 were there.
Yeah.
Yes, the three. We don't know. We don't know. You could be 201, but we don't know. We just know you haven't hit. We just don't know. You haven't cracked it.
All right.
But so getting that number 200 slot in a obscure category, that is going to push you to probably 500,000 people's smartphones.
Whoa.
Nice.
You're going to start popping up on their list of recommendations. Real low, mind you, but right now you're not on them.
Okay.
So then my last thing, and this is something for you guys to just think about, is... I think that I love the name of the show.
Yeah.
No changes there. I do think you need to lean into in your intro your uncleness more.
Okay.
Your uncle vibes that, an uncle is someone who is not a dad.
Damn right, brother.
And I think that's important.
Ain't gonna be happening anytime soon. Let me tell you.
But I think that's important to clarify. But an uncle is also someone who's kid friendly. An uncle loves kids. He's not some child hating, Scrooge.
You're No, he's right. We got to be
in small doses.
So we're for the children a little bit more.
That's gonna get
careful. That's gonna get you some of the wrong kinds of fans. but just lean into the the sort of childless men in their 30s of it all, and kind of say that, but just because I think that is, and I think that, like, you know, in so many ways, you guys say you're an uncle to each other, but you're an uncle to the audience as well, and I think you should welcome your audience that way and say, we're here to be an uncle to you as well.
We are in a sense.
Yeah,
we are everybody's uncle, you know.
Yeah,
and I think I know what also you're saying. More bikini kind of stuff, right? More bikini oriented kind of. I think that's what Van has really been trying to get the essence of all this.
Speedboats, bikinis,
uncles. That's your first from your dad or your uncle.
That's right. You get the Playboy mag
gives
from
you
your uncle.
Who gives you the bikini model? Gives you the bikini model poster for your birthday? Your dad or your uncle?
Your uncle.
Your uncle.
We gotta get some bikinis.
Agriculture.
And when you're looking to get
bingo,
when you're looking to get a Patreon subscriber or a supporter, you say this is your opportunity to uncle us. You can be our uncle.
Oh,
that's beautiful.
That's very nice. Yeah.
So I would say lean into the name, lean into the uncling relationship.
Yeah.
Uncle to uncle is not just the two of you, it's you and the audience. And then otherwise I would say keep doing what you're doing. And then I've got a piece of software that I want to send you guys that I think is going to help you just amp up your audio quality a little bit more and make editing a little faster.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Oh my gosh,
that's all I got, guys. That's it.
So other than that, we're perfect.
Other than that, you're perfect. And I read this great article about how all the top podcasts just all have fake views from mobile game ads. So we're gonna do that too.
Oh, perfect.
All right, guys.
Eli Hodap, get at us for the free games there. So we'll just attach a link here.
That's beautiful.
The soundboard is broken because of the inactivity. So that's on
wait,
me.
Hey, maybe I can do it here.
No, you can't either. It's broken.
Well,
when it goes inactive for long, it's broken. But I'll include the Stephen A. drop at the end. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. And remember,
I called your show. Ha! So guess what? Goodbye!
In 2019, a now deceased philosopher named Bugmain hypothesized that we were living in a simulation. The uncles now perform research to prove that that is true. Welcome to the only show
that takes place from a king-size bed, where we investigate everything from Mariska Hargitay to the mighty Abin Sur, portrayed by Tamora Morrison in 2010's The Green Lantern. This is Uncle to Uncle. We dare to ask and research the most important things on the World Wide Web.